Ondo says, we are excited to announce that Ondo Finance has acquired Strangelove Labs to accelerate our full stack RWA platform development. And this is Strange Labs right here with Ondo Finance. And here is the story of the day for Ondo. Ondo acquires Strangelove to accelerate full stack RWA. Remember, for those who don't know, real world asset development, treasury yields, ETFs, gold, silver, stocks, bonds. Here we go. Ondo Finance, a leader in the tokenized RWAs, announced Strangelove. Again, this acquisition significantly expands Ondo's engineering and product capabilities to develop infrastructure for bringing RWAs on chain. They was like, we need more development power, so they bought a company rather than starting from scratch. Strangelove brings a track record of developing production-grade infrastructure across multiple blockchain ecosystems. Its team has contributed to foundational technologies spanning from interoperability protocols, SDK frameworks, to custom chain deployments, making them a valuable asset for Ondo's mission to modernize global capital markets infrastructure. And then you got a quote right here. Let's go to this one. Strangelove was founded to build secure modular blockchain infrastructure. Modular is a lot of what like Cosmos ecosystem and them does. And you got again Cosmos with the Cosmos SDK. It makes everything interoperable, so you can build on top and within each other. And I'm trying to think of the other name. Celestia, modular blockchain inside of the Cosmos ecosystem. So that's what this makes me think about. So joining Ondo gives us the opportunity to bring that experience to leading platforms for real world assets and accelerate the development of critical infrastructure to help RWA scale and thrive. And remember, Ondo was like, they were working on Ethereum, and then they started to build their own chain. So here's the Strangelove website. Strangelove is the center of engineering excellence for IBC. There we go. Right off the top, I was like, I thought this was familiar. So the IBCs, inter blockchain connections. Again, you got Cosmos, Osmosis, Axlar, Celestia, a whole bunch of them. They're all there. It's like 30 something different blockchains. And I really like that ecosystem. So Strangelove's Labs, validation services, IBC development, building open source IBC apps and middlewares, pushing IBC adoption beyond the Cosmos. And that's a pun intended. And again, Juno. So you got the IBC Gold Relayer, interchain testing, Cosmos operator. So when I'm looking at Ondo, why would they acquire this company? They essentially are acquiring the whole Cosmos technology. And if you're acquiring the Cosmos technology, that means you got something real big. We know Ondo works with XRP, Stellar Lumens, obviously on Ethereum, Solana. Makes me think, what are they building? What kind of bullishness are they working on with the IBC Strangelove technology? Here's another interesting post by Ondo Finance. Stablecoins unlocked dollar access. Today, Alchemy Pay is unlocking dollar yield with USDY. Now, non-US users in 173 countries can on-ramp into Ondo's tokenized US treasuries on Solana via local currencies and payment methods such as Visa, MasterCard, Apple Pay, and bank transfers. So they got a new integration with Alchemy Pay, bridging the fiat and crypto global economies through a ramp solution. This is interesting. Alchemy Pay is helping them bridge over. So they're working with Solana, they're working with Alchemy Pay, and then you got all the countries outside the US now eligible and able to tap into our treasuries. And again, if we go back and think about the Stablecoin Act, the Genius Act, the power of Ethereum, the power of real world assets, which are the treasuries, mostly stocks and bonds, everything's going to help pump the U.S. So Trump talking about make crypto a USA, the crypto capital of the world. I do see it happening. And I think him and his team tapped in and saw what companies like Ondo are doing. Obviously, World Liberty Financial is invested into Ondo. Stablecoins is a no-brainer. And you got to find a way to make people want U.S. treasuries. Let's hit this next one. As detailed in Messari Crypto's latest report, the tokenization of financial assets is no longer theoretical. Ondo's tokenized U.S. Treasuries products alone have surpassed $1.4 billion since launching in 2023. It's pretty new, and that's a lot. This growth is confirmation of a structural shift, as the report notes. Tokenized treasury funds have become one of the fastest growing segments of RWAs. Ondo is designing institutional grade platforms, assets, and infrastructure to bring markets on chain, starting with U.S. treasuries and soon expanding to tokenized stocks, ETFs, and more. What I am excited for is once they get something like OpenAI or SpaceX in form of tokenized stocks. Private equity. I called it here today. Private equity. If we can get private equity companies that are not public tokenized, put on platforms like Ondo, allow us to invest in them before they go public, convert those tokenized private equity shares into public shares, that's the game changer. So I hope that's what's happening next. Let's get it. All right, here's this graphic. Ondo is designing institutional grade platforms, assets, and infrastructure to bring markets on chain. And then we got market capitalization. This is the old USG, is dark blue since it started going up. And then you got USDY, which is even more inflows for Ondos. And if you don't know, now you know. Here's the Ondo website. Welcome to the open economy. And then they have their data here. Ondo is building the foundation for the future of finance. 10 supported chains, 119 integrated projects, 80% yield coin market share. Damn, that's a lot. Borrow and lend against U.S. treasuries. So you can get USDC, you have USDT, DAI, and FRAX. And then they have the institutional grade cash management. This is what most people like, the US dollar yield, the short-term US Treasury fund, earning 4% on a lot of money. Even a little money is a lot of money. And then they have all their different funds and whatnot. And then what I like is that the omni-chain network for RWA. So this is what they're building. And I think that, you know, Cosmos technology is going to play a big role for this. Obviously, that's why they purchased Strangelove. On-chain, Ondo Chain is a public proof of stake layer 1 blockchain designed specifically for institutional grade real world assets. You can see Ondo TSLA, that's Ondo Tesla. So these type of things are happening. And this again allows especially foreigners to tap into the US markets. And then everything here is like permissionless. So this ain't like one of those our typical public blockchains that we're all used to. This is more permissioned. And I think there's a use case, obviously, for this. Here's some of the benefits. Bridge, build quickly, issue easily, bridge seamlessly. Ondo Chain has been designed from the ground up to enable the development of accessible, stable RWA markets on chain. And then they got kind of like the diagrams. You got portfolio management, repo swaps, and brokerage. Then you got an application layer. And over there to the left, you got the ecosystem layer. EVM public blockchains, that's the Ethereum virtual machines. Then non-EVM public blockchains, that's the Algorands, the Stellar Lumens, right? And private blockchains, private chains. all flowing through Ondo with its participants, service providers, asset issuers, and investors, big banks, private equity, and then the assets, tokenized, publicly traded securities, other RWAs, and digitally native assets, all flowing through Ondo chain with the Ondo token, hopefully, and I would think obviously, receiving a lot of that value.
Passive income, gold in my dental, thank God for my mental. Investor fundamentals, told my girl it was simple.